I snapped my capote about to get its attention. Time to find out if my 3-day crash course on bullfighting was going to pay off. The bull lowered its horns and charged at me, kicking up gouts of dry dirt beneath its ferocious hooves. I rose onto the balls of my feet, waiting until the last moment to twist just out of reach of its deadly horns. The crowd roared with approval, so apparently I moved with at least enough grace to be convincing. This stage was all about testing the bull, seeing its patterns and which horn it favors. My bovine opponent seemed to prefer goring me with his right horn, but I didn't think he'd be picky about impaling me with the left one either. The bull twisted about, bucking its rear end and pivoting on its front legs. It snorted loudly enough I could hear it over the crowd. I snapped the capote about and it dug in for another charge. I swept to the side, allowing its deadly horns to pass by within an eyelash of my brocaded vestments of light. Lowly silver, because even I'm not arrogant enough to wear the elite gold. The crowd had surged to their feet, waiting with bated breath for the next pass. I didn't have much time. Soon the picador would appear, a lancer mounted on an armored, blinkered horse. His role was to impale the bull's muscular shoulders with a spear in order to weaken it for the eventual ritualistic kill. I had no intention of letting things go that far. While I have no compunctions about killing people, obviously, given my profession, I don't have the stomach to kill animals. Don't get me wrong, I'm not one of those NIMBYs who want to abolish bullfighting. I realize it has great cultural significance, even religious overtones for the people who practice it. That doesn't mean I want to participate, however. I'd come to kill Galagos, not the bull. I'd been working my way slowly toward the north end of the stands, where Galagos sat beneath a red canopy draped over Doric columns painted bright yellow. The Seville is a beautiful structure. I'll give it that. You'd never know just how blood-soaked the ground really is. I could see him now, beyond the bull's heaving sides, watching with a slight grin on his mustachioed face. I wondered if he grinned like that while he sold children, peddling them like goods on the market. Usually when Lucian asked me to eliminate someone, it wasn't personal. It was just business. I didn't allow myself to enjoy the actual killing because I'm not a sadist or a butcher. But this time, just this one time, I decided Galagos's crimes warranted a certain pleasure in his demise. The sound of the gate drawing up to allow the picador's ingress stirred me out of my semi-reverie. The bull charged in, and I swept to the side again, thrilling the crowd. Then I bent low and charged, my feet kicking up dirt just as the bull's hooves had before. Galagos's face crossed with a confused frown just as I leaped up and leveraged myself over the wall. One of his bodyguards, apparently not so slow on the uptake as Galagos, moved to intercept me, but I threw my capote into his face. While he grappled with the surprisingly heavy cloth, I charged in at Galagos unobstructed. "No jodas con los mains," I said. "Don't fuck with the mains." Then I buried the Hispana's shimmering length smoothly into his breast. Galagos's mouth opened to allow a frothy fountain of blood to escape. I could have withdrawn my blade cleanly, and he would have died without much further pain. But that's not what I wanted. Galagos deserved an agonizing death, so I took the copper-wrapped hilt in both hands and twisted it viciously. Galagos tried to scream, choking on his own blood and vomit. I left the sword embedded in his chest and ran in an entirely different direction than anyone would have thought. I jumped over the wall and back into the arena. Any good assassin knows to plan their escape route ahead of time. And I'm not just any good assassin. I'm the best. The picador struggled to control his mount. The armored beast had picked up on its rider's anxiety. That worked in my favor as I dashed up and seized his wrist. With a mighty yank, I pulled him off the horse to collapse into a groaning pile on the hard-packed dirt. The crowd was screaming now, in a state of panic. This was not the type of bloodshed they were expecting, but perhaps it was the type they deserved for harboring one such as Galagos in their midst.